Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition. Your health is your choice, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I am your host, Sarah Troy. My guest all the way from the UK is Claire Johnson. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking about the naked warrior, about the mindset and the nutrition and the training that you need, and how to be an alpha, and 3 principles of achieving success with your mindset, training, and nutrition. She is the CEO of the Naked Warrior, which delivers 3 winning online coaching programs, and she's founder of the Naked Warrior Tribe online community, plus authors of 2 books, The Winning Formula, Discover the Secrets to Unleash Your Alpha Female, and The Winning Physique, and How to Get the Competitive Edge on Stage. She's a leading female mindset nutritional training coach who is focused on empowering women to lose that mental junk, holding themselves back, plus identifying their triggers, self-sabotage, habits that they can create, strategies to achieve success in their desired results. Everything that we need right now, right? Every bit of support that we need. Welcome to the show, Claire.
Wow, thank you. What an introduction. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
I love the point about, the mental junk. It doesn't matter what your physique is, what your nutrition is, until you deal with the mental junk, nothing else is going to happen, is it?
Oh, totally agree. For all the years that I've worked with women, and initially started off in the training space and then branched more out into nutrition. And I'd see women, they'd start and they'd make small steps forward, but invariably, there would be something that would happen and they'd fall back or they'd lose their motivation. And it was always little things that were going on upstairs. That's why I call it the mental junk. It's that negative self-talk. It's that self-sabotage behaviors that you might not even be conscious of, or it's just those limiting beliefs or belief systems around food and emotional associations with different situations. So once I started working with women to address those issues, they really started to fly and accelerate their results in the other 2 areas. And when they achieved results in those areas, it again improved their mindset. So that's why I kind of work in the 3-pronged approach, if you like.
Yeah,
and
I like
it's incredible.
that. Yeah. There's another huge one to do with that junk in there is comparison. It's society and celebrities and everybody else. You've got to look like this. Now, not everybody's designed to do that. It's not about everybody being a size 2. Right. It is about you being healthy and abundant in your own body, in your own life. And immediately, people think, well, I've got to get down to 0. And your body frame, everything about your body is not designed that way. So it's not about you trying to be in somebody else's image or the expectation of what you should be. It's about you being beautiful in your own body, in your own health, within your own frame. And that's a huge one for people to take on, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. And it's one of the reasons why, I focus on my programs and I say, like, why be average when you can be alpha? And, when I talk about being alpha female in my book, The Winning Formula, it's not to be better than anyone else, but it's to be the best version of yourself and, have that confidence in yourself and knowledge that you are capable of doing everything that you choose to do. That's where the alpha mindset comes from. So really being able to step into your power, understanding you, but supporting those others around you to help lift them up as well. And, I talk about women in my tribe about being brave and unafraid. So it's all about, taking those risks, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, to be that alpha version of you, to be the best version of you. And once you're focused on that and you're comfortable and confident in your own skin, you're more likely to want to lift those up around you rather than compare, and you celebrate each other's successes and you recognize the efforts that those around you are going to be their best as well, because that's the journey that you're on. So you celebrate and support each other rather than comparing and then potentially getting that mental junk again where you're getting into comparing syndrome and beating yourself up, or I'm not good enough, like they're better at me than that. And it's, I work with women to help them be able to accept themselves where they're at, be happy with where they're at, be grateful for where they're at, and then, move forward from there.
Exactly. I also think that people have also get out of their minds, it's not about the poundage. Oh, I
Mm,
lost this amount of pounds today, that amount of pounds today. When you actually release all that mental junk, you've lost a ton of poundage already.
yeah.
Um, you know, the, um, Diets don't work, do they? It's a lifestyle that you have to change to.
Hmm.
It's also knowing, what does your body like? Maybe you are the vegetarian or the vegan or whatever. It is, feed your body what it needs to nourish, and understand the nutrition of what you are feeding it. And you can't get there if all you're thinking about is, I've got to lose weight, I've got to lose weight, got to go on a diet. Those yo-go diets do so much damage to the body, don't they?
They do, and they do a lot more damage to your mental health as well, really. Living in,
Yeah.
oh, I can't have, or I'm not allowed, it
Yeah.
puts you in a very restrictive,
Mm.
negative mindset. And when you start to use those words, can't, and, I'm not allowed, or I'm on a diet so I'm not having that, your physiology in your body changes, and your actual physique changes, and you start to become more closed off.
Yes.
So, when I'm working with women, I encourage them to choose what they're having to eat. So I'm
Mm.
choosing to eat this way because I know it's going to nourish me. It's going to help me get closer to my wellness goals or my weight loss goals or whatever they are. And getting women to connected to choosing. And I work with women to create new habits and focus on the new steps that they're making rather than focusing on the ones that they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And it puts
Yes.
you in a lot more positive, proactive space, and it gives you the freedom where you don't feel restricted. Because I don't know about you, but if I feel restricted, there's going to be like a rah at some point where I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
rebound. And that's
Yes.
why, and when people go on crash diets as well, they don't work. They go full hog. It's quite restrictive. It's hard to do. And so, they'll reach their goal, or it becomes too hard. And then they rebound because they haven't, again, addressed the mental junk up here to create a lifestyle. They've gone too hard and full on into it, so it's not sustainable. So then they get disheartened as well, and then it's like, oh, I've lost weight but I put it back on,
Mm.
which again in turn affects how you feel about yourself, whether or not you're good enough to lose weight. And then you have your body image issues, and you don't feel confident, and sex, massive full-on impact on you. So I work with women so that they can be able to create sustainable changes for the long term. And whenever I'm working with someone, I have a look at where they're at right now, and then we make a plan for what's their ideal, and then just map out the journey to get there. I'm not an all or nothing
Mm.
person. Well, I am personally, but I don't believe that works for everyone.
Right.
And for me, I've got incredible discipline, where I used to compete and I used to get up on stage and do female bodybuilding. So from that, like, my discipline, if I have my mind set to something, it's very much switched on. But again, I learned a lot from that process, is then it's not sustainable. It does damage your
Right.
health. And
Yes.
when you're not having joy in your life, then you can become quite miserable, and then it's that negative mindset. So it's all about trying to create that positive association with food. And food, for me, and how I like to teach people, it's fuel. It nourishes you. There's some foods that you should eat more of, some foods that you should eat
Mm.
less of, some foods that are going to make you feel better than others. But again, it's moderation. There's a lot of emotional attachment, joy and happiness to different situations, like as we were saying, going out for a
Yes.
meal with your
Yes.
loved ones and
Yes.
friends. And we should be able to enjoy that and do
Yes.
it guilt free, and not worry about oh god, I can't go and eat that because I'm on this diet. It's like, no, let's eat and have 80% of the time where we're good and on point, and have the other 20% where we can allow for that, and
Exactly.
do it guilt free
I'm
as
an
well.
80-20-er as well. I'm going to go
Yeah.
out guilt-free on that 20%. But there's another factor in here, is that if you are constantly depriving your body, your whole body's system goes into the, you're being starved, I need to save the calories, right? Your
Hmm.
body is doing that because it thinks, that you are, in World War Z and you can't get any food, so it's going to sustain what food you do have. Um, that that guilt too is the wrong energy that you're feeding.
Mm.
And
definitely.
if you're feeding that energy, what we feed is what will grow. And if you're feeling guilty and you're feeling, I can't do this, and the sacrifice and the this and that, I promise you it will never, never work,
No, it
because
definitely
our
doesn't
body
do.
works with positive energy. And if you say, I'm going to go out today and have a damn good meal, big spaghetti and a piece of cake and a glass of wine, and I'm not going to worry about it. And your mind goes, I'm not going to worry about it. And if you have to do a little more exercise tomorrow or kind of go back to a more stable diet, that's fine. But that guilt, it's not only just to do with the fact of what you've eaten. It becomes something that kind of trickles down. You start feeling guilty about everything. It starts blowing up out of
Yeah.
proportion, doesn't it? And we're very good at that, especially as women, of feeling
Oh,
guilty.
I know there's so many things to already beat yourself up about and feel guilty about. So um, we don't want that association with food. And it's, that's why the all or nothing, as I was saying, doesn't
Mm.
work,
No.
because if you don't feel like you've achieved in that space, then you're just going to beat yourself up. So it's like, well, let's focus on what we can do. And I focus on the small wins. And it might be for someone, they're used to having half a glass of wine or a glass of wine like 3 or 4 times a week, and then after a week of working together, then they've reduced it down so it's twice a week. That's progress.
Right.
That's a win. If someone's been having sporadic eating patterns where they keep missing breakfast and they're not eating till late on in the day and having a large meal, and then they start to change their eating habits so they start having breakfast a couple of times a week, that's still
Mhm.
progress. So when I say, we have the starting point and then map out the
Yeah.
journey, like that's what I mean. It's like, okay, this is your ideal, this is where I'd like you to get to, but there's a journey to get there, definitely. And when you're doing it that way and you're focusing on creating one small habit at a time and
Yeah.
absolutely nailing that so it becomes your natural new way of life and integrated into your lifestyle, you do it guilt-free. And we all know that it takes 21 days to build a new habit, so focus on that one thing first, like I said, get that right, and then move on into the other areas.
Which, when you inject a new habit, that means an old one has to go,
Yeah, and,
right?
and focus on that new one.
Mhm.
Focus on what you're now doing, what you're
Yes.
rather than what you're not supposed to be doing.
Right.
Again, it's a much more empowering mindset,
Yeah.
definitely.
I have a friend who's quite a large woman, and she's happy in her largeness,
Hmm.
right? I mean, she even just had heart thing and the heart's ticking very well, etc. But she has a very skinny sister who's
Right.
obsessed with being skinny. And she cannot see her sister without telling, you're fat, you need to lose weight, and just belittling all the time. And everybody has told her this is not the way to do it, because you're trying to guilt her, you're trying to demean her, you're trying to make her feel bad about herself, where she in her person doesn't feel bad. And so
Mm.
this is another thing about going through this change. We really need to have the people around us that are truly supportive.
Yeah, definitely. You need a support team around you, people who understand why it is that you want to work towards what you're working to, and who are on board with you. Like I said before, we don't need people who are bringing us down. It's like we want people to be championing us and helping us get to where we need to be. And it might be that this friend of yours, it might not necessarily be that she could be happy with where she's at, but they'd be looking at probably like quality of life, health goals and things like that. But it's up to her.
It
No
is.
one's going to want to make the change. You can't make someone change.
No,
What's that saying? You can lead a horse
no.
to water, sorry, but you can't force them to drink.
Right.
um
Unless you
like,
leave them there and they realize they're thirsty.
well, exactly. And
Give them time around the water.
for yeah, yeah, for a lot of people, it sadly it takes like a big life-changing thing
Mhm.
to
Quick
happen for
bit of a wobbly, folks.
people to realize that maybe the way that they're living isn't the best way for them.
It has to be their
It's
choice,
not
doesn't it?
conducive to them having a long future life look like.
Yeah. Well, this
Yeah,
is right. This show
exactly.
is called Your Health is Your Choice, because it is. No one else can choose it for you. And your
Hmm.
mental, your well-being, your body, your heart, your soul, your spirit, it's all your choice. And if we're carrying, as you said, the old junk around with us, it is literally going to weigh us down. And part of a wellness
Hmm.
program is exercise, and it doesn't mean that you've got to go and work out 24 hours a day and become the bodybuilder. It is about, maybe it's just a walk in nature, and you find that
Mhm.
you can do that longer and further, and you can start doing more. But it's just that exercise is a part, it's been kind of taught along with the diet with restriction, and now you've got to put these amount of hours into exercise, and everybody, who isn't into the exercise buff kind of looks at it and go, oh my God, and they may go at it at first, I'm doing this, and then it gets further and further away from them. Tomorrow, and then tomorrow doesn't come. So I think it's the same mindset
Yeah.
over the exercise, isn't it? It's like start off small.
Start off small, but start off doing something that you enjoy to do.
Yeah,
There's no point if someone absolutely hates running for me to say go and start running. But if that person loves to go to a dance class
yeah,
and they just lose time in their dancing, they're active, amazing, they can dance all week as far as I care,
yeah,
because they're moving.
yeah.
And it's important to realize, we are quite, population as a whole is very sedentary nowadays, and
Mm,
we were designed to move. You think
yes,
of the lack of movement that people have, so the impact that has on your body from a health perspective is massive. So I encourage people to be healthy by moving more. Initially, if they haven't been, following a structured exercise program, I'm not necessarily wanting them to go and exercise.
yeah,
I just want them to make movement on a daily basis, something that they do. So, go walk to the park, walk your dog more. Even when you're sitting at home, get up and move
yes.
around more. I remember working with a lady once, and she was on a big goal to lose weight, and she needed to be more active. She had like 3 flights of stairs in her house, and she purposely used to leave stuff upstairs, so she kept having to go back up, because that's what motivated her to do it.
Yes.
So and it's when you go to the car park, like, try and park furthest away from the
Mm,
shops, use the stairs more rather than going in the elevator or the lift. It's about trying to be more active every day, just for functional health, really. So our body is able to perform and be at its optimum and reduce our risk of having chronic disease in later life. And like, we should all be able to run for the bus when we're running late without getting breathless. We
right.
should all be able to move our body without it feeling stiff and sore, and be able to move down into a squat and go through our full range of movement. And you have a look at a child and see the movement, mobility and freedom they have in that mobility of movement and what they're able to do. We lose that in adult life
Mm,
because we don't do it as much, and we become more stationary, more sedentary. So it's always about just trying to get the body moving first, and then once you start to feel better and your body becomes healthier, it has a massive impact on the way that you think about yourself, and then you're inspired and motivated more to want to go and exercise. So I always say, move first, do something you love to do. And like what you said, getting out in nature, it's so good, it's
yeah,
so restorative on so many levels.
yes.
And then once you're feel fitter just for daily living, let's get you into training.
Right, exactly. I'm 7 hours a day at this computer, and it's sometimes you just get so engrossed in it. I know so many people now have gone to online with their
Mm,
businesses, that maybe we're used to walking for the bus and then on the bus and then climbing the stairs and doing everything else to go to work, and they don't have that anymore. So sometimes I have to just get up and do my
yeah.
silly buggers, do the twist and the shout, anything to kind of get the body going and get this circulation going. I might not have much time, but you could stand there doing something to shake your
Mm,
booty,
yeah.
and get that circulation going back in your body, or even just the stretching, getting all the limbs going out. And it can be very engrossing when you're working online, and you've got to remember, body's feeling like cardboard, need to loosen
Yeah,
it up, right? Few minutes,
exactly.
a few minutes. If you can't go and take the big walk, take a few minutes to shake things out.
Mm. No, for sure. Like, I know, some people I've helped set an alarm on their phone to
Hmm.
remind themselves, like, every hour,
Yes.
especially when I know what it's like, when you're on a big project and you're into it. But just setting alarm and getting up and moving allows more oxygen to get into your
Yes.
body, so then it also helps you think clearer.
Yeah.
And then especially over here in the UK with people in lockdown and working more from home, I know of some people who've actually, they're still getting up at the same time as if they were actually going to the office, but they'd
Right.
actually get up, walk out the door,
Mm.
walk around the block to, you know, get them in that
Yeah.
mindset of like, I'm going to work. So
Yeah.
obviously they're getting a little bit of activity and exercise then, but it's also, which I thought was a great idea.
Yeah, no, it is. And every little helps.
Yeah.
Your lifestyle may have adjusted, and it's like, don't look at what you used to do that you can't do now. Look
Mm-hmm.
at what you can do now. And what you
Yeah.
used to do may come back, or it just may redirect into something else. But just because, oh, I can't do that anymore. All right, you can't do that. There's always something you can do, right?
Oh,
These
definitely.
what are these things? Let me go to find it a second. These things,
Oh,
right?
bands,
I mean, they're
amazing.
really good at just the stretching and everything else. You could do that at your desk. You can do that anywhere. It's just find something that you can do. We can't constantly look behind us and go, oh, yeah, you may miss those days of doing this and that, but there's no point in whining about it because
Mm-hmm.
we're here now. So what can we do now? Is the woman leaving things up at the top of the stairs so she has to go up and down, taking a walk around the block, chasing the kids? There's always something we can do, and it's make sure that you give yourself time to do it, not just physically, but the mental break is just as important, isn't it?
Mm, definitely. I totally agree with that. And like I said, it's that when you get up and move, it, you know, also allows you that time to think and stops you feeling too stressed and closed at your desk. Like I say, it gets more oxygen into your body, and then again, you know, it's an opportunity to reduce your blood pressure if you're feeling quite stressed and anxious. It allows you to breathe a little bit deeper. So, you know, definitely, even if you just got up from your desk and did some squats standing
Yeah,
up and down, you're going to get the blood flow going.
yeah,
And you know, like we said, every little definitely helps. And I liked what you were saying as well about focusing on what you can do, not what you can't do, because again, that's putting you more into the positive mental
yes,
mindset. So we're being proactive, and rather than looking at an obstacle or a challenge as a setback, it's like, okay, cool, well, it's an opportunity. Now I'm going to go and do it this way. And again, it comes back to what I said at the start. So rather than thinking, oh, I can't do this, we're not allowed to do this, we've identified what we can do, so let's go and work on what we now will do. No,
right.
it's definitely a lot more empowering space to be. And again, you feel more in control. You feel like you're more connected to your purpose, and you know what you're doing. So you don't feel that sense of overwhelm when things are running away from you.
There's so many people, kind of their life has overtaken them. Their mental stresses, with all that junk and the I should have, I would have, and all that chatter that goes on, the
Mm-hmm.
judgment from others, the judgment from society, the job pressures, the COVID redirection. And for a lot of people, it's weighed them down.
Yeah,
Instead of looking at things as an opportunity, when we focus on what we do have, gratitude steps in. You
definitely.
start seeing possibilities, and then you start seeing opportunities. So again, it's like, don't get stuck in your moment. The greatest gift you have is the present.
Mm-hmm.
But what you do in the present is what your next moment is going to be.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely agree with that. And I like that you brought up gratitude.
Mm,
It's what I always encourage people and women I work with, especially in some of my coaching programs. It's, well, let's have a look at a practice of gratitude. You know, what can you be grateful for right now? And, you know, when the act of saying thank you, like if you've ever said
yes.
thank you 10 times in a row, and you actually take that step, you feel your whole physiology change and your
Mm,
energy changes, and you feel calmer. You definitely feel more appreciative. And you know, and once you put yourself in that space, you're going to be reacting to different situations around you in a lot more positive way. You know, if you think about, you've done your gratitude practice before you've gone out the door in the morning,
mm,
you know, and you're in the car, someone cuts you up, rather than reacting and, you know, feeling enraged and start shouting, getting frustrated by it, you're a lot calmer. You're like, oh, okay. And then you might instead just acknowledge that that person might be in a hurry, or I hope that they're
yeah.
okay, and you get on with your day, and it doesn't affect you. So it's like you've got this armor on you. But if you reacted to someone else's anger, or potentially in that incident, you know, if someone cut you up, if you react in that way and then you hold on to it, it's not
Mm,
going to be serving you mentally, physically, and then you're going to go and talk about it at work, and you keep going
Yeah.
around and regurgitating it. But
Yeah.
if you'd had your little gratitude armor on, it would just be in a whole different situation and reacted differently, and then you don't carry as much of the junk, so it all leads back together.
Yeah. It's kind of just send vibes out to them. Slow down, grasshopper. It's
Yeah.
okay. Because we've got to understand the energy that we project out is what others receive. Do not think
Mm,
that that passing car is going so fast that they can't receive some good vibes, right?
yes.
And you talked about kind of the worry wearing the armor. I'm always trying to kind of get away from anything to do that's related with war. I
Yeah.
would like people to step into the aura.
True. That's a good analogy. Actually, I'll take that one.
um, that aura is something that not everybody sees, but is very much who you are and is what people feel about you. And
Mm,
when we have that loving, beautiful, strong aura about us, that is our armor. And that is also, it's our protection, but it's our invitation. And so
yeah.
it warms people up around you and it invites them in. And so, we gone are the days where we feel we have to fight for everything. It is now allow. Change your mindset to allow yourself to do, allow yourself to be, allow yourself, love
Yeah.
yourself. Don't expect others to love you for you to change. Change to love yourself. Then others will love you in your own light.
Hmm. Definitely agree with that. And like you said, it's changing that energy that you project. The obviously what you put out there, well, you're going to attract more of it. It's the law of attraction, which we
It
all
is.
know about. So, you know, and it's also about thinking about how you want to be remembered. Like, I've
Mm.
got quite a young son, and at the moment I'm teaching him to always leave things in a better condition than as you
Yes.
found them. Or
Yes.
so if you have an interaction with someone, always leave them feeling better than when you first met them. So you're trying to light up and put these little
Yeah.
positivity bubbles along the way. And exactly, she said, don't expect other people to do it. Like, be that light and lead the way.
Yeah. Inspiration begets invitation. Right? So when you inspire someone in any way, just by your
Yeah,
presence, you're
exactly.
inviting them to rise up to their higher vibration in themselves. And then, that's when that kind of junk, that um, chitter chatter, low self esteem, beating yourself up, criticizing yourself junk starts falling away. Because when you're in a state of love, there is no room
Hmm.
for any of the other.
Yeah, exactly. And it's looking with love as well. When you're
Mm.
looking at a situation, it's if you look at it from that perspective of love, it gives you those different glasses to put on, and then you're more open to seeing someone else's point of view, and then you're potentially reducing conflict around you, which again going to put you
Yes.
in a more positive state, more positive connections with people. And again, it's just spreading that energetic vibe, which lights people up, and it's just creating a more positive environment for all those around you. I mean, we all know the person who you meet and that you're drawn to, who
Yes.
seems to light up a room when they walk into
Yeah.
it. You want to be surrounded by that energy, so why not emulate yourself to be that
Hmm.
person?
You know,
And
yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just going into a little flash that came into my thing is that foods have color for a reason. And very often those
mm-hmm,
foods that you're craving a particular color, an aubergine or a green apple or an orange, very often when we're craving that, it is actually feeding our chakras. If we're craving something, there's a particular chakra that is off balance and it needs to be balanced. There is a reason that we go, why, I mean, food is absolutely beautiful. It is exquisite the way the colors, the vibrancy, when a dish is done with love and laid out, you eat visually before you eat, physically. And so if we're drawn to the color of
mm-hmm.
food, we've actually got to understand it's feeding a particular energy within us.
Oh, absolutely. And I encourage people to always eat a wide spectrum of colored foods. Like, eat,
Yes.
like your plate's a rainbow.
Yes.
From the nutrient perspective, it's you're going to be getting such a wide range of vitamins and minerals into your body, along with those certain phytonutrients that each individual fruit and vegetable contains. And you know that that's going to be doing, you know, you good, basically. Because
Yeah.
often I'm asked, well, what should I eat? And it's like, the more color you can eat and the more vegetables you can eat than what you are doing right now, do that for a couple of weeks, you're already going to start to feel better. Make sure you're hydrating enough, load up your plate with color, and then see the impact that that has.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, your body just starts going, I want more of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a six veggie a night person. Um, and you know, I just love my veggies, and you know,
Mm.
there are a different range of colors, and it doesn't matter how I cook them, you know, and which way I prepare them. You know, I always feel really nourished by them.
Mm.
So, you know, kind of have a love affair with your food, right?
Yeah, and remember that, you know, because I've worked with people before and they're like, oh, but I don't like the taste of that
Mm.
food. And once you start to create your body so it's more healthy, you become more alkaline by having more greens in you, reducing the foods that are going to make you acidic, you'll actually notice that your taste buds do change.
Yes.
So it, and you'll, like you said, you'll be starting to crave those foods more. And once your body starts to feel as good as it should do, that's how you want to be. Because a lot of people I've worked with previously, like, oh, but you know, I eat healthy, I feel good. But it's because your body's got used to what that version of good is. So it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
let's just increase a little bit here, put a little bit more in here, remove a little bit of that. And now let's see what that next level of you can feel like. And then once you get there, you're like, yeah, this feels pretty good. I didn't realize that, you know, back then I thought I felt good, but now I've done those couple of little things. I'm now here. And then it's again building blocks and getting to be the best version of you at your optimum health, which then again comes back to being that the alpha version of yourself too.
You know, you go out to a favorite restaurant that you used to love. Oh, I've got to have that dish again. I loved it. And then you have it and you go, what did I love about it? You know, because your taste buds and everything about it has changed. I don't like this dish anymore, you know, and that's when you analyze it, you look at it, well, the reason I don't like it anymore is because it's not very nutritious. You know, my body isn't happy to receive
Yeah.
it. So, you know, we notice those changes, right? You're not craving this and you're not craving that anymore. You want to go for the raw carrot and the apple rather than going for the bar of chocolate so, or the
Yeah.
cookie.
And you know, sometimes you might not, you know,
Right.
and it's also being comfortable with that. And it goes back to what we said before. If 80% of the time you're doing
Yeah.
the good stuff, then if you did want to go to your restaurant and have that food again, like, it's totally fine, you know. Or you might go to the restaurant and think, oh, I really fancy trying one of their other healthier dishes
Yeah.
rather than the big burger and fries. So,
Yeah.
but being okay with whatever that choice is, like,
Yes.
that's the whole point as well.
I mean, I don't eat red meat at all or pork or anything. The most that I do
Mm,
is chicken, but I love the veggie burgers.
mm,
You know, so if I still feel like a burger, I can have a burger, but it's a veggie burger and it's got kind of less on it. So don't deprive yourself, but you do adjust. You know,
yeah.
I couldn't eat a steak now. You know, not only because I've gone more into the vegetarianism, but also, you know, just your whole body changes so completely. Um, we resist change so much, and but we know that we need to change, and then we fight that change. But when we accept that change, we're so glad we changed.
We're complicated, aren't we, as human
We are.
beings?
We fight ourselves so much, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, if we just kind of like let it go, just go with the flow, you know, just do it, you know, Nike's thing, just do it.
Mm,
Then we look back at it and go, why did I resist that so much?
yeah. What I found, you know, when people need to create a change is, you know, that, like we said before, they have to want to create a change. And the first thing that, you know, if you're aware that someone needs to make changes to become healthier, if they want to get fitter or lose weight, or they need to improve how they're eating, the first thing you need to do is educate that person so they understand the implications of not making the
Yeah,
changes, and then the benefits of where these changes are going to help them. And then, you know, that person, is up to them, they've got all the information, and then that they can make that decision. And that's a lot more, I want to say effective, but it's empowering for the person who's
yeah,
taking it on board.
yeah.
You know, because they're not being told what to do. Because, you know,
It's
past the
their
age of
choice.
like being, yeah,
Yeah.
we don't like being told what to do. We were
No.
told what to do as children, and when we're adults, we're like, who are you to tell me what to do?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's, you know, it's understanding, like, knowledge is power. So it's like, okay, you know what's potentially going to happen to you if you carry on this way, like what those implications are. But if we start to do this, this is then what the other outcome could be. So it literally is your choice. And then providing that support mechanism for that person if they want to come and work with you. And once they've chosen to make the choice to come and work with you, it's like, okay, we now know that this is what you want to do, but why? And then
Right.
really drilling down on that why, you know. So for instance, if I'm working with a lady and she wants to say drop a dress size, it's like, okay, so your goal is to drop a dress size. Your why is potentially you've got an event that you're going to, let's say like your a sister's wedding and you want to look good as the bridesmaid. Okay, so that's your goal. And we know what your why is, but then it's understanding why is it important to you to look good as your sister's bridesmaid. So
Mm-hmm.
then really getting that person to put themselves in that event, in that space in the future. Who's going to be there? How are they going to be feeling? How are they going to be feeling when they've lost the weight and they feel like they've got their goal and they look incredible in this dress? Why is that important to them? Who are they seeing? How does that make them feel? And then again, you know, what happens if they don't achieve that goal?
Right.
And then it's
Or
getting
how
that
do they
emotional connection.
sustain it?
Yeah, and
The
then it's getting that
sustainability. Yeah.
exactly. So it's getting that emotional connection to the reason why someone wants to go on this journey. And then once you really understand that, and the person who's working towards a goal understands that, then it just makes it easier to work with. And then you're less likely to do the silly thing of getting your own way. You know, you'll be able to find, instead of obstacles, you'll see opportunities,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to find ways to, you know, create the changes that you need to do to achieve the goal that you want. And you know, I work with them and do that in a supportive, collaborative space, and it's always without judgment, and it's always through that education to empower women.
We empower each other
Mm,
through caring, but also through fun.
yeah.
Right? You know, there's a lot on our plate. You know, if we're mothers, you know, if we're business people, there's a lot of responsibility on our plate. And sometimes, oh God, this is another responsibility. But instead of like, you know, let's make it fun. Let's make this fun. Let's prioritizing your health, your life. Let's make it fun. And very often we're giving fun out to everyone else, but we've forgotten how to give it to ourselves.
Well, this is true, you know. I think sometimes as a busy mum or a busy female, it's very, or you know, anyone who's busy
Mm,
with all the responsibilities of life and of work, and it kind of can feel a little bit heavy at times. And you know, we can get lost and caught up in the day to day and forget the things that we used to love to do when we were younger, when we didn't have any responsibilities or restrictions. You know, where did we used to spend our time? What did we
mm,
used to love to do where we could literally lose time? And you know, when was
yes.
the last time you were doing activity and didn't feel like you wanted to check your phone or know what else was going on around you,
Right.
because you were so happy with where you were and so very present in the moment? And that's where, you know, a lot of society has become lost at the moment. We're
Yeah.
too busy thinking, I've got to do this, got to do that. And again, it comes back to that gratitude. We're not appreciative of where we are at right here in this present moment. um, so it's really, you know, we need to focus on that to be able to move forward with our goals,
Yeah.
but to find, you know, what makes us happy, like what lights you up, what makes you laugh,
Yeah.
and go do more of that, and be okay with taking that time for you to go and do that. You know, like if you want to go and watch a comedy, go and do it. If you really like losing yourself in a good book, go do it. You know, you got to make sure that just as you schedule your time to do your work, your family time,
Mm.
that you schedule time for you, for your time, for what you enjoy doing. And then you're going to feel more fulfilled. You won't feel empty or lost, you know, because you're going to be more connected to your purpose and what lights you up and that sense of who you are.
It's essential that we need to do that to ourselves.
Definitely.
It's the old oxygen thing, right? You can't help anyone else if
Yeah.
you're gasping for breath. And we are inclined to spend ourselves everywhere else and be spent. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, it is essential, just as your nutrition is, as your exercise is, as your mindset is, but as your nurturing of self is just as essential to your well beingness and the well beingness of the people that are counting on you.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to look after yourself first, again, so you can be the best possible version of yourself,
Yeah.
so you can help the others around you. Definitely. So self-care is the most important thing you can do. And it's
Yes.
a good practice to get into, to teach those others around you as well.
Yeah. You're the example, right? It's,
You are.
you're the one that if you're showing that self-care, especially to your children or other family members, you're showing, well, yeah, she can have it all. She is well balanced. She's enjoying life. What is she doing? She's placing
Yeah.
some self-care on herself. Well, I got to give that a try. Like when Harry met Sally, right? I'll try that.
And be okay with doing things for you guilt-free as well. Like I've said to people before, like, it's your life. Yes, you have responsibilities, and you do have to have those relationships where you are responsible for things, but at the end of the day, it's still you, and you've still got to do what makes you happy and focus on that as well.
Yeah. Now tell us about the books. The Winning Formula, Discover
Oh,
the Secrets to Unleash Your Alpha Male. Now, a lot of people go, alpha male, I'm female, female. What does alpha male mean? Everything has to have balance, right?
it yeah, well, it is actually alpha female, which is quite
Alpha
funny
female,
because if
sorry.
you look up alpha
Sorry.
male in the dictionary, it's actually there. Yeah, no, that's okay. But alpha male is in the dictionary, but alpha female isn't. And it's quite funny because some people, it's an interesting word to use, because you think of, what does that conjure up for you?
Mm,
Do you think of like a powerhouse woman who might be quite cold and
yeah.
masculine, and wants to take people down to get what she wants? Or do you think about a woman who is empowered? She's self-assured but not arrogant, and she's not afraid to speak where she needs to. She's not afraid to speak up. And where the book came about from was, I interviewed leading females in sport, but they were competing in a sport at the top of their game, but in a sport that was potentially traditionally thought of as just being for men. So I interviewed a rally
Mm,
car driver, a monster truck driver, a female boxer, a female cricket captain. Who else did we have? The lady who did the first footballing broadcast over here on British TV, and a canoeist and an Olympic swimmer. So all these sports where women were thriving,
yeah.
but in a traditional male sport. So I kind of got inspired, and I thought, okay, um, what's the similarities in their story? How have they done that? I wonder what challenges they've had to overcome. How have they dealt with the social stigmas?
Mm,
What have they done to be able to push through and be their best in not traditionally thought of as a female
yeah.
sport, but something that they loved doing? So I interviewed 8 amazing ladies that had the honor of being able to share their stories. And then from those interviews, I pulled together the common themes and traits to help inspire other women. So if there's something that they want to do, how can they go and do it?
Mm,
Have a little bit of tenacity, look to go all in, commit, find that support crew, have that never quit attitude. And again, following your passion, and
mm,
go all in and do what you love to do. And be smart with your goal setting. So it all came about, and yeah, I brought this book together. It was a little bit of a project that I spent 2020 doing in lockdown.
great. Yeah, well, there's
And
something very progressive right there, right?
yeah, and now it's ready. It's just recently been released, and if anyone wants to find out more about it, they can just go to unleashyouralphafemale.com, and you'll be able to get your hands on a copy. So yeah, it's amazing. I'm incredibly proud of it, and I know it's going to help many women to be able to, you know get out the shadows and step into their light. And if possibly, if someone's thinking about, I want to try something, but I'm not too sure how to get there or what to do, then I know that these stories are going to help to inspire them, because it's going to show them the way that they can increase their self-belief and their
Mm.
confidence in their ability to go out and achieve.
Remove those limitations that have been imposed upon them just because they're female.
Yeah, exactly. and
Right.
and just again, stepping into their own personal power and being their alpha
Yeah.
female.
Right. Nothing wrong with being an alpha at all. Alphas
No,
are quick deciders and leaders and everything else, but it also means we're taking charge of our own lives, right? And that's what it is.
exactly, that's
Everybody
where it
wants the
comes from.
empowerment to
So
do that. So,
yeah.
so tell us about the other book, The Winning Physique, how to get the competitive edge on stage.
Yeah, definitely. So that, oh, sorry. Are you there?
Yeah,
You
I'm
just cut
here.
out a bit. Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's wonderful Zoom. We love the internet. It's with us
Oh,
or
okay,
it's
cool.
not.
Yeah, so that was my what to say, that was my second book. I know. My first book was the Winning Physique, discovering the secrets to unleash discovering the secrets to get your competitive edge on stage. And that was all that was inspired by my days when I used to compete as a female bodybuilder in figure competitions. And it brought together a collection of leading female athletes again, who are pros in different divisions within the bodybuilding world for females. And we had a look at, you know, what their training plans were, what their diet plans were, how they got through the challenges that you go through to get up onto stage and
Mm,
compete. And you know, it's a little manual for people, if you like. So if they were inspired and wanted to try, you know, to be a bikini model or get up onto stage, or even if they just wanted a physique transformation, they've got the tool to be able to go and do it, and do it in a healthy way, and have stories and advice from people who've gone through and had that experience themselves, you know, so they're not going to make the mistakes that we've all made in there, because we share our journeys in the
right.
book too.
We can do anything, you know, forget about gender. It all comes into what's our passion and how much are we going to feed that passion, nurture that passion to be. Um, if you're wanting to get up on stage just for everyone else to see you, then it's the wrong reason. But if you're getting up on stage because you feel you have something to share, and again, that inspiration begets invitation. You know, if you think about it, a bikini model is an athlete. You know, they have to keep their
Mm-hmm.
bodies, you know, so excellent in order to be the bikini model. And then they're out there in front of the cameras and on the stage and everywhere else. And you have to have confidence to do that. So
Yeah.
confidence isn't somebody else's opinion of you, it's your opinion of yourself.
Mm. And it's all about, you know, because I competed for over a period of 4 years, and did 3 seasons. And every time I went and did my next competition, people would ask me, Claire, why are you competing again? Why are you doing this? And it was because I loved the process that I went through, and the whole sense of achievement of setting a difficult, challenging goal
Yeah.
and then achieving it and knowing I could do it. And it's that small, I mean, my goals are quite big, but, you know, I work with people then to set small goals, because once you start to set a small goal and you achieve it, that's another way to increase the stepping stones of increasing your self-confidence and your belief in, you know, that you can do things. And once you've had a small few wins underneath your
Yeah.
belt, it opens up your mind. You think, okay, I can do this. I know I can. I've shown myself that I can do this and this, and now what can I do? And it's just that growth mindset comes in again. And, you know, stepping up onto stage, it's an individual journey for anyone, and it's a very subjective sport. So, you know, you have to trust in yourself, and because you never know who's going to be on stage as well, it's a
Right.
really interesting sport. So you never know who you're going to be up against on stage that day, so you can't monitor what your competitors are doing,
Mm,
so you can't compare yourself to others. So you just have to completely trust in your process and know that you're doing everything that you can do to bring your best possible physique on competition day. So it allows you to create this super strong discipline and motivation, because you have this talk with yourself. It's like, well, you know, I'm supposed to go and do a training session, but maybe I'm a bit tired. And then you say, well, my competitor, I don't know who they are, but they might be still going to train while they're tired, so I need to. And it just gives you that little bit of an edge and that spark and fire within you to, you know, be like, yes, like I'm going to move forward in my life, and no matter what area it is in your
yeah.
life, and doing it for you, because you
Mm.
don't know who you're comparing to. And then, like I said, trusting that process, so you're bringing your best possible package on stage that day.
You know, I say to people, move forward. I don't care if it's toe to toe. You know, then there's a foot, and then it's maybe a stride.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the leap is up there somewhere. It's not about you having to get up and take that leap of faith. I'm one of those jumpers. You know, I step into the abyss, blind, deaf, and dumb, in order to hear, see, and feel. Um, slow down a little bit. Maybe I don't leap quite so far now, but in the early days, oh, I don't know if I can do it. Let's try it.
Yeah,
And sometimes I fell and sometimes I didn't. But the whole point is we're not meant to be stagnant, and we are meant to be moving, mind, body, physical, soul, everything. We are constantly meant to be moving forward. But if all you can manage right now is one toe in front of the other, you will gather momentum the more you put in. And then, suddenly
hmm,
you notice it's a foot, notice it's a stride, notice you're running, notice you're doing that. And you look back and go, I didn't know I was this strong, this courageous. I had this kind of ability. If I have it here, where else can I have it? And all of a sudden you start
exactly.
seeing your life in a totally different light.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And like I said, it's just encouraging that growth mindset to, grow within yourself. It's that how can I,
Yeah,
what else is possible,
yeah,
so yeah, definitely it's all about opening up to see more opportunities. Couldn't agree with that one more.
right. So your programs that you have, which they're online obviously right now
Mhm.
because we're all still in lockdown. Tell us what there is all about and how you and whom you reach around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got 3 online mindset coaching programs, or I should call them female empowerment programs. So my foundational course, it's a 4-week online program. It's called Find Your Fierce, and it really does help to create the foundations for a lady to get a hold of, as I said, that mental junk. So we have a look at their relationship with food, their belief systems around their eating habits. We identify, self-sabotaging triggers, behaviors, create a plan to overcome them. We have a look at, again, positivity and gratitude and language that you're using to yourself. We have a look at the relationship between a healthy body and the relationship that has on a healthy mind. Have a look at what you're passionate about, start to get you more connected to living with joy, and then creating smart goals to be able to achieve what you want to in life. So that's a 4-week online program. And like I said, that's the foundational course, Find Your Fierce. And then once you've completed that, you can move on to the next program, which is called Alpha Accelerate. And this dives a little bit deeper. So you've got the foundations, great. We've mastered creating these small little habits. So now what? Now how are we going to amplify and take that to the next level? So we dive deeper. We have a look at your readiness for change. We dive deeper into that language and self-talk, and we start to work on strategies to really change those subconscious behaviors and patterns to really be able to get a handle on where you want to go. We dive a lot deeper into having a physical transformation for each individual who completes the program, so they can see what they are capable of and feel how they want to feel and have that big physical transformation change, whether it be weight loss, muscle gain, or just being healthier, and then feel what it feels like to follow the structured eating plan and achieve goals around that, and then seeing where that goes in terms of the relationships with people that you have around you, in your work, in your career. And so it really does take the foundations from the Find Your Fierce into the next level. My Winning Warrior program, it's more of a bespoke program. So that's where I work on a one-to-one basis with the individual. And it really depends on what their goals are and what their needs are. So the other 2 programs are group coaching programs. And the Winning Warrior, like I said, it's a more bespoke program. It really does depend on, what the female wants to work towards, what they feel that their obstacles are, the challenges are. And then we create a program specific to them. And then, it's full accountability along the way, regular check-ins, progression, and really amplifying their life again, but on that one-to-one basis. And then I also have a online community. It's called the Naked Warrior Tribe, and I've got women in there, and it's just literally a community. It's
Yeah.
exactly what Tribe says. It's a community of like-minded women who are looking for real information about what to eat, when to eat it, have daily inspiration. There's live workouts in there, there's exercise guides, there's Q&As in there, there's educational sessions. So it's the online community where women can come together and just find support in those areas which we're all focused on, which is the mindset, training, and nutrition, and share their experiences and be the light for all of those around them as well.
we don't realize that we benefit other people so much more when we are light ourselves. You know, I used to be afraid of the dark,
Hmm.
and a lot of people are afraid of darkness. Well, you want to get to a stage in your life where you can go into that darkness without any fear because you are the light.
Yeah.
That takes, you know, the wholeness journey, doesn't it? It's a mind, body, heart, and soul journey.
Hmm.
Um, and we also have to be willing to invest in ourselves financially, emotionally, time, spiritually, everything, because there's a lot to undo, um, and then there's a lot to redo in our lives, re-inject into our lives. And the more we do that, the more we're willing to go through the process, the stronger
Hmm.
we understand we are, the more abundant we really are, and what our real gift is in life, not the expectation gift that's been imposed upon us, but the gift of who we really are and what we're here to do. And now that beacon of light you are to others is serving them. So
Yeah.
you owe it to yourself to be the best you can be for you.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely for you, and like I said, the impact that you have on others around you, because once you start to be the best version of yourselves and people see what you're capable of,
Hmm.
you're undoubtedly going to be able to inspire them. You never know the impact that you're going to have on someone just by them watching you.
Yeah.
So that's why you always need to try and make yourself be that positive impact. And like I talk quite a lot about trying to stay positive and looking for the good. And it doesn't mean that like the negative or the bad experiences aren't going to happen to you. Like you're still going to
Oh yeah.
have like the
Oh yeah.
crap of life,
Oh yeah.
but your ability to be able, yeah,
Mm.
exactly. But your ability to be able to move on from it quicker and have it impact you less
Yes.
is a lot easier and better when you are practicing this positivity and putting yourself to be that light, and stepping into your power so you can positively impact others around you.
You know what to do because you've learned the skills. And just like we talked about at the top of the hour, you know, that driver cutting you off. You don't step
Yeah.
into anger. You go, okay, all right, what do I need to do about this? Or what should I do about this? Oh, maybe nothing to do about this. You don't kind of sweat the small stuff, right? That's the big thing, I think, is
Yeah.
you know, it just is, do I want to spend my energy on this? No. You know, or do I need to spend my energy on
Mhm.
this to help someone else? Yes, but I'm, you know, the old Miguel, is it Miguel? Miguel Ruse, you know, the four
Yeah.
agreements. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
speak your word with integrity. Um, do not assume. Ask before you assume,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Gosh, I know them off by heart, but I always forget when I'm actually on here. And it's um,
It's funny. I'm literally just reading that book at the moment, but I haven't got to the fourth agreement yet.
right, right, right. Well, it's speak your word with integrity. Don't take things
Yes,
personally. Oh, that's a
that's the
big one.
one. Yeah,
Don't
I
take
have read
things
that one.
personally.
Yeah.
You know, don't assume because everybody has a story. Until you're
Hmm.
willing to listen to it, you don't know. And just do your very best, not
Yeah.
in comparison with anyone else. Just knowing whether you've done your best or not. For simple agreements that are absolutely wonderful. There's another book that you should get your people to read too, is Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson, MD.
Ah, yes, I've heard of that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah, yeah,
oldie,
have
but
heard of that
it's
one.
two mice, two men around abundance of
Hmm.
cheese, and one day the cheese is gone, and it's the reaction, and you identify with the reactor. And it's a really good eyesight. Oh my God, you know, I've become him. Give me back my cheese. I'm going to sue you. Who is that benefiting? No one. So that self-identifying of habits that we've got caught up in, right? And that I don't like that habit. It's not serving anybody. It promotes you and ignites you to go into creating a new habit. So, but
Yeah,
there are
definitely.
you know, there's always people like you out there that's there to guide and nurture people through their own nurturing. You're not there to do it for them. It's not a quick fix or a downloadable app. It is a process that you're offering people to go through, but a
Hmm.
process that with each step, there is an enlightenment, a self enlightenment, and a self empowerment to come from it. And like when they finish going through that process and they look back, they won't recognize themselves,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
For the better.
definitely. Exactly. It's just all I do is just show them a way, and if they choose to go it, then yeah, the results that they get I've had many women go through my programs and shown them the way of my stuff. So, and it works.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is, we're not meant to do it alone.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you were given the gift of what you were given, to share it with others. We have people out there to help us and guide us through, because there's times we're going to feel lost, or we don't know where we're going, or we don't know how to do it, or we just need somebody to cheer us on. So it's really, really important that we do accept that,
Mm-hmm.
and allow other people to help us along the way, because that's what they had to do. So how do people get hold of you and your site, your Facebook or
Yeah.
your Instagram, etc.?
Um, you can find me. My website is thenakedwarrior.co.uk. I'm on social media, on Facebook, again, as The Naked Warrior. My online community on Facebook is called The Naked Warrior Tribe. And on Instagram, I'm at sign and then underscore The Naked Warrior. So pretty much if you go to anywhere and look for The Naked Warrior, that's me.
Right. And there's another site here. I'm going to put the glasses on so I can see it. It is
Yes.
unleashyouralphafemale.com. What is that one?
Yes, yes. So that's the one which is all about the book that we spoke about. So the winning formula, discovering the secrets to unleash your alpha female. So if you want to know specifically just about that book and the women that I interviewed in it, then it's just go to unleashyouralphafemale.com.
Just out of interest, how many men have gone to and say, naked warrior? What's this all about?
You know what? I get that from men and women, and it's people are like, why did you change? Like, why that brand name? And it's about empowering women to be themselves
Yes,
and allowing the vulnerability to come through by not hiding behind anything. So you're being vulnerable and essentially being naked, but you're being feminine and you're being
yes,
strong. So it's allowing you to really step into your power and owning who you are and not being afraid to do that. It's
yeah,
about there is the element as well, with the strength of the feminine and the
mhm,
warrior queen, and fighting for what you believe in, but also having that vulnerability, and then trying to create a body that you're happy with and you feel sexy with and you're confident in. So a little bit of the naked element in there, so like helping you feel good naked,
yes,
and being that warrior queen and really stepping into the power of who you are.
right. Exactly.
Yeah,
The nakedness is that vulnerableness, and the greatest gift you can give someone in trust is your vulnerability,
yeah,
right? So without
exactly.
any form of apology. So great. Thank you for taking this journey. Thank you for doing what
Oh,
you're
thank
doing.
you. Oh,
Uh,
it's amazing. It's just so rewarding seeing the women that I help and
yeah.
being able to make a positive impact. And, like I'm just trying to create that ripple effect to help more people. So,
Right. And it's,
yeah,
it's not about just getting thin and looking good for other people. It's about your wholeness. It's about the whole of you, mind, body, heart, and soul. And if you aren't willing to get rid of that negative junk, and if you're not willing to kind of feed the right things, the right energy, invest in yourself, in your
yeah,
body, then you're just not going to get the results, and you're going to constantly be self-criticizing. So find your
exactly.
own self-courage and drop her a line. They can fill out a form on the site,
Hmm.
thenakedwarrior.co.uk.
Yep, there's a contact form section on there, definitely.
And it doesn't matter where people are in the world.
No, I work with women all over the world.
Excellent. So it's time, as women, we matter, to step up. And the empowerment of yourself in body and mind isn't for anyone else but you. But when you
Hmm.
stepped into that empowerment, then you realize how fruitful you are to everyone else. So you owe it to everyone else to be abundant within yourself.
Amazing. Sounds so good.
Thank you so much for being here today, Claire.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for having me. I've loved sharing my thoughts and my journey. Thank you so
And your
much.
passion and conviction, because it comes through strong. So that's
Yes.
great. Yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. And to everyone else, remember, your health is your choice. And in every other way, step up and give yourself some self-love. Until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. You will hear many, many shows here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. We have new shows for you out every week. Just find them on our podcast or What's New. If you feel that you have something to share that makes a difference in the lives of others, or you too feel that you could be a host, please contact me at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com and we will be glad to speak with you. Have a wonderful day.